the best you had. Whatever your wishes might command. But even your bad day ain't so bad. That's just my way. You know what that is? Do you know? That's just my way. Just my way.
I told my mom I wanted to be a singer when I was 2. I didn't even know I was talking then, but I guess I was. I remember at one point, I think I was 11, and I told my mom, I said, you know, I really want to take voice lessons. She was like, all right, well, it's karate or voice lessons. I was like, karate or voice lessons? No. But I ended up choosing voice lessons.
Don't stop till the break of dawn. Don't stop. That's what's really going on. You can't do much better, no. You can't do much better, no.
And but professionally, I started singing at 14. Where I was actually brought on by a local Bay Area band that had me come up and sing at San Mateo Fairgrounds in front of 3,000 people, and I'm this skinny girl with big old hair and sang a blues song. Never had my heart broken, but still sang a blues song. And I got a standing ovation, you know, and it was pretty amazing, that kind of feeling. And the community that I'm a part of, the fact that they would let this 14-year-old come up and just try it out. Let's see what you can do, you know, and that has consistently been something that has helped to inspire me, because every time I've gone on stage, I've realized that there's something traveling through me, that I'm affecting someone out there, and it makes you want it more and more. That feeling of being on stage and wanting it more and more, I think, is necessary in order to survive in this business. It's a very difficult, demanding, ugly business in a lot of ways, and as a musician, you do have to be a business person, I think, unless you have other people around you who are willing to put 100% into you to make it happen.
She's a rebel,
Recently, I went to Mexico with my grandmother, who's almost 90 years old. Went and visited her sister, and the two of them were singing together rancheras, old songs that they've been singing forever since they were little. And it was amazing to see that, because still to this day they sound amazing and beautiful. And so I realized a lot of what I do comes from there.
It isn't like American Idol where you can just be born and there you are, you know,
exactly.
multi-platinum selling artist.
Right.
You know, there are so many stages, and then being a woman, kind of spearheading the whole operation. So tell me about like kind of the evolution of the whole to Brave Wolf Productions now.
And I had different people who growing up wanted me to do certain things that to me just didn't seem right to me. You know, I didn't want to be on Star Search at the time, you know. I didn't want to come out like that. I don't know, and I was young when Star Search was happening, you know. So I think it was also something in me that decided it wasn't about being famous. So I didn't want to be a part of some shallow existence. And you know, you get older, all of a sudden you have producers, oh, well, let's see, you're gonna need to hike that down, pull that up, you know, you have, and really it's a men-oriented type of business. So you're surrounded by men who think that, you know, you need to look a certain way in order for people to appreciate what you're doing. And for me, that's not what I felt was my most powerful thing, and that's not what I was focused on. I was focused on the music. So being in college and having these producers tell me, well, just sing about, you know, your booty and whatever else it is.
Did you really have that?
I really did. No, I really had people, you know, like talking about what I should be talking about, and really coming with me like, no, you need to do this and this with your outfit, and this is how you should look. And it was so discouraging in so many ways. It was like, did you listen to anything I had to say in here? Because I think people can relate to what I'm saying in these lyrics, you know? What I decided to do was I joined different bands, and most of them, probably almost all of them, had all men in the bands. So you're dealing with a lot of different energies in that way as well. But usually I became kind of like a band leader in a lot of the ways, partly because I have a business sense and I have an understanding of the all the ends that need to be tied in order to make it happen, so that I can have a successful show, so that I can continue to build an audience, so that I can feel good about just performing. But when you're going through this whole other side of you and having to kind of detach a little from the creative side, that's also a whole nother struggle that you kind of have to find that balance with. To this day, there are still producers who are like, well, I think your sound it's too diverse. It's too many different flavors, and you got to condense it into one little package, and this is what it should look like. And I definitely, from a business sense, I get that people need to identify with something with you. I get that. For me, it pushed me to, be like, okay, well, if I have to sit here and wait for all these people to make it happen for me, then it's never gonna happen.
And to your point, Fempire reconciles contradictions within women. It is not an either-or world, and it's not an either-or situation. So for your voice to have to be either-or,
right,
we think is a bunch of BS.
right.
It's like when you sing and when I listen to your album, I see different sides of me in every song. So like why, but I understand from a business point of view how people like to condense things, water it down, make it a little bit more mainstream so you can sell more.
Right.
I get that. But from the creative point, of view, it is not either or. And I think people can relate to that.
Right. I agree completely. And I think the reality is that in so many different aspects, in film, in politics, in life, we're all just they're trying to dumb us down, and trying to make things shallow in a lot of ways. And for me, I think that even lyrically and then also stylistically, bringing in flavors of reggae and Latin and soul and hip hop, that's how I grew up. I grew up listening to Bob Marley and Stevie Wonder and Tribe Called Quest, and all these different elements that have helped to create who it is that I am, and the pieces that have come out of me. So I think I'm not the only one, and I'd like to think that there are other people out there who can relate to that and who are yearning for that, who are yearning for messages of things that they think about every day.
So how do you, as an artist and businesswoman then, because I know from doing both too, that it's really hard to you get trapped in the business aspect and you kind of can lose your spirit. So what do you do?
I write songs about it. I write songs about my struggle. That's my therapy.
And then let's move to track number 3.
You should know.
You should know. You're talking to your girls about it's the kick it to the curb song.
Exactly.
It's the kick it to the curb song.
I don't wanna see him no more. Don't send him to the barbecue no more.
And then there's also the sense of humor in it. So where did that come from?
Life experience.
Let him go, girl, you should know.
In that song, it was that moment of just like, okay, you know what, this is really frustrating, and this person is not doing it for you, and you're not being the best person that I know you can be. They're not bringing it out, they're sucking you dry. So let them go. But the main reason was because, you're so beautiful. You deserve the whole wide world. That's what that song's about.
What about the title track, Again and Again? Why did you go with that for being the title of the album?
Could this happen all again? Want to know you all I can. Fall in love with you over and over again.
The whole song in itself is about falling in love again and again. And in particular, it was me talking about the man that I'm with, and falling in love with him again and again. And that's a really powerful thing for me. And then also relating to just the overall album, what it feels like. And like I was saying, the album in itself feels to me like how I am right now, just where I'm at right now. And it's something that I can come back to again and again. Messages that almost that I'm like a time capsule that I'm telling myself. Remember, this is where you're at. This is how you feel about life. And so that's partly why it stuck out to me. It's like, yeah, I could do this. I can come back to this again and again.
So can we talk about the industry real quick then, and what it's like?
Well, now I live in LA, so it's just a whole nother world in LA, and being in the industry and saying you're a singer and, oh, everybody's a singer, you know? So it's a very interesting kind of world. Everybody's got a card. Everybody's kind of wheeling and dealing. For me, I think it's continuing to just do what it is that you believe in and what you know, and not sit around and wait for people to come find you and tell you what it is you should be doing. Because if I had waited for that and not decided to put this all together, I just said, you know what, I'm gonna get a studio, I'm going to get my favorite musicians, bring them together, make this happen, meet up with great producers in the Bay Area and LA who are doing things. So different folks that I decided, you know what, they're great, I'm gonna just put my, you know, core of music together, get together with these people and just start putting it together. Being where I'm at, where I have led bigger bands and I lead my own band now, and I have dealt with clubs and festivals and whoever else, I feel really confident in just being a strong person and knowing what it is that I'm supposed to be doing, because ultimately, once I can just get myself to stage, that's where I'm supposed to be, you know, so I feel good about where it's at, but it's difficult in terms of the industry, the fact that, you know, these huge labels don't take the time to, even an artist who I feel like I have nurtured my own skill and I don't need to be molded into this thing, they still don't really get it, you know, they're looking for, I don't know what they're looking for, you know, but it is changing in terms of downloads and different things like that, MySpace. And
How was it starting up your own label? I mean, is that a complicated process?
well, I decided that, you know, I'm doing all this work to put together this project, that's just naturally what it is. You know, it is my label, it's all happening underneath this. I'm going and finding the right people to take my picture, to put on the front of it, to, you know, working the designs and getting the right people to make that happen, and doing everything. Where am I going to replicate it? Who am I going to put on this? Everything, you know. So I'm lucky that I have a vision, I guess, and then grateful that I have taken the time to really put into me understanding this business, how it works, and so that I can get it into different people's hands. They can take it home, listen to it.
Becoming one, I'm calling out again my love runs deep as tumbling and share.